Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another video at the Pharmacist Academy. Woo! Now it's around 7 something in the morning, and that's the reason why the woo was so low. But I'm an early bird, and I'm up early to answer a very common question that I get from students. Do you have to go to mid-year to do a pharmacy residency or fellowship? Now, before I answer this question, I will be providing a brief overview of what happens at mid-year for the ones who are not really familiar with it. Now, ASHP Mid-Year is a conference for pharmacy professionals. So, this is a meeting where you may see anybody from the pharmacy profession. So, technicians, students, residents, fellows, licensed pharmacists, managers, pharmacy directors, residency program directors. Now, each year, more than 25 attendees come to this meeting, and the dates vary, but usually during the first week of December of each year. Each year, the location is also different, and they usually rotate between Las Vegas, New Orleans, Orlando, and Anaheim, California. Now, this year, the 2019 ASHP Mid-Year will take place at Las Vegas between December 12th and December 18th at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. And as you can see, it's a very nice location, right? And they have great reviews on Google also. Now, what exactly happens at mid-year? Networking. This is why a lot of people go to mid-year. So whether you're a current resident, you're a student, you're a current pharmacist, director, it doesn't matter. You go there to network. You're able to connect with your peers, alumni, future colleagues, and pharmacy leaders. And they always say that pharmacy is a small world. So imagine having over 25,000 people from the pharmacy profession in one location, right? Networking will be a great skill to have, right? To have a good networking skill for mid-year is one of the most important skills that you want to make sure it's developed before you go to mid-year. And I'll be creating a video on this in the future. Professional development sessions, continuing education credits. So you're able to obtain up to 30 contact hours or more, I believe, of CEs. And this is like music to my ears as a pharmacist, right? To be able to go to one location and obtain all these CE credits. Interactive learning activities to enhance practice skills. So they may provide educational presentations on, a specific guideline update. They may answer a specific clinical question. They may address a research topic. And overall, they're going to give you updates of things that are going on in the pharmacy world across the nation. Interviews, personal placement services, PPS. If you're applying for a residency, fellowship, or job position, some institutions and employers conduct interviews on site at mid-year. Okay, so for fellowship, we know this is the main form of interviews, right? You start off from interviewing at mid-year. Then if they like you, then they invite you for an on-site visit. Residency Showcase. Interact with hundreds of residency programs across the nation. So imagine walking into a big room where you're able to see all the different residency programs in the nation. So you're able to walk to a specific section where you could speak to a specific residency program, and over there you may see the program director and the current residents. So any question that you have, they can address it for you. Research poster sessions. View research posters and discuss current projects in pharmacy practice. So just think of a big room also where you have different posters that are set up, and you have, whoever conducted that research or whatever the case is, standing right next to that poster. And as you walk around, you see different posters. You could go to the residency poster sessions, the student poster sections, and learn about new researches in pharmacy practice, right? And some of these researches are quality improvement researches. So if, let's say, you're a manager or a director of a pharmacy, you're able to obtain a lot of ideas from just going to these poster sessions. Board specialty review and recertification. So comprehensive scenario-based and interactive 2-day course for various board specialties. Exhibit hall. This is one of my favorites. It features the newest product developments and technological advancements in health system pharmacy and hospital. So this is where you may see a lot of drug companies, a lot of companies that manufacture, you know, pharmacy technologies or health system technologies, and you're there just kind of like demonstrating how this technology work, and you're able to ask questions. There's a lot of food, there's a lot of gifts, there's a lot of opportunity to meet people and interact, and everybody's in a good mood in that specific location, I want to say, because everybody's walking around eating, going to different sections, and just having a great time. So this is one of my favorite things to do at mid-year. Now back to the question, do you need to go to mid-year if you want to do a residency or fellowship? Are you ready for the answer? Can I get a drum roll? Okay, that was the worst drum roll ever. But it depends. And here's why. I want you to consider everything here that I'm gonna talk about before deciding if you should go to mid-year for a residency or a fellowship. Your year in pharmacy school. It's better to wait till your last year in pharmacy school to go to mid-year, because it's more important to go to mid-year, right before the residency, right? For example, you don't necessarily have to go during your first year, second year, and third year, because I mean, everything that happens at mid-year happens every single year. So it's not really gonna, determine if you're going to have a better chance of obtaining a residency. Okay? Especially if you're going as a first, second, or third year, you're not even presenting a poster, right? Why did you even go there? Financial status. Mid-year requires you to pay for registration, hotel, and flight. Now, some schools provide reimbursements, so that's great. So once again, if you're gonna go as a first, second, third year student and you're not presenting a poster, and if your school reimburses you guys, then sure, go for the experience. But I mean, think about it. It's more important to go for the last year. Now, if your situation requires you to go to mid-year, find some friends to rent an Airbnb, for example, because it's more affordable. With and also you could book your flight early. If you're pursuing a fellowship, you have to go to mid-year. It is mandatory to go to mid-year since interviews for fellowship is conducted through PPS. So that's your answer right there, right? Do you need to go to mid-year for a fellowship? Yes, you have to. For residency, it depends. Pursuing a residency program in your local city or state. Now, state pharmacy organizations may have a clinical meeting each year, very similar to mid-year, but mainly for that specific state. So many programs in that state may attend this, and once you go to it, it's very similar. Of course, it's smaller, but the programs in that specific state will be there. You could ask all your questions, you can meet the residents, the director, etc. Find out if this is done in your state and if the program of interest will be there. Find out if your school has a residency showcase, which I like to call the local media, and local programs will be there also, right? So local programs in, let's say, that city will be there. You could obtain all the information needed. And that's exactly what I did, by the way. You're pursuing a residency program out of state. Okay, you can go to MIDYEAR to obtain all the information you need from the programs. That's an option. Or if you don't go to MIDYEAR, you can simply reach out to the current residents through email or even the program director and ask anything that you're really considering, right? Anything that you're curious about, because not everybody is able to go to mid-year. Okay, mid-year usually occurs right before finals for some people, so sometimes you have to study, you have projects at the end of the year, and you're not able to go, so it's okay. During my residency, we had a lot of students email us asking us questions, so this is very common actually. Attending mid-year to make a good impression with program directors to increase your chances of landing a residency. Okay, residents, preceptors, and program directors interact with hundreds of people. Okay, especially during the residency showcase. I remember I spoke with so many students, and I'm sorry to say it, but I didn't remember a lot of them. Okay, and this is something that's very common. So there's a good chance that the program director and the current residents may not even remember you. So even going to mid-year just so you could speak to them face to face, thinking it might increase your chances of landing a residency may actually not work. Okay? So my final take, if you're pursuing a fellowship, you must attend mid-year. Now, I think there's still like very few programs, like fellowship programs, that you could apply for without going to mid-year to do PPS. I'm not really sure, but I think there are still very few programs. There's no need to go to mid-year as a first, second, or third year student. Okay, especially when you're not presenting a poster. Think about it. If you, let's say you went as a first year, second year, and third year, do you plan on going for the fourth year? Okay. I mean, if you are, then it's like, you went to three other mid years, so I mean, it's not really necessary, especially like I said, if you're not presenting a poster. If you're presenting a poster with, let's say, one of your preceptors or something like that, then that's totally different. In that case, I would definitely encourage you to go to mid-year. But if not, everything that you're doing during the first year, right? Networking or whatever the case is, you could do during your last year. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to go during your first, second, or third year. I didn't go to mid-year because I was interested in local programs, as I mentioned. I didn't even think about going to mid-year, and honestly, I think my school was reimbursing us, but I kind of found out late. But I knew I wanted to stay at home. I knew I wanted to commute to the residency site if I obtained that residency. So I just did my research about the residency site through Google, honestly, and I spoke with a past resident, and that person was able to provide me with certain information that I needed. So go to mid-year as a fourth year student and do the following: present a poster, learn about the program of interest, network, and enjoy the experience. Okay? So if, let's say, like I said, you want to do a program that's out of state, across the nation, sure, go to mid-year, but don't go as your first, second, or third year. You don't need to. You can go as your fourth year and present a poster, learn about this program, network. Okay, so you could do all of these when you go. That will be the end of this video. I hope I was able to clarify that question for a lot of students. So that were just my opinion, right? Those were just my opinion. And of course, if you still want to go to mid-year, you should go. Okay, like don't let me tell you not to go. Don't let nobody stop you from that. It's a great experience, but for certain people, as I mentioned, they may not have the money for mid-year. They may have finals right before mid-year. They're considering a local program, right? So you don't necessarily have to go to mid-year. I remember when I was applying for my residency, or when I was thinking about doing a residency, I feel like there was a few times I heard that you had to go to mid-year, which, I found out that wasn't the case. So I hope I was able to clarify this for anybody who wasn't really sure. If this video was helpful, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And as you guys know, I'm always here for you. I'm here to make your pharmacy lives easier. So if you have any questions or topics that you want me to, do a video on, feel free to reach out. Don't even hesitate at all. Make sure to connect with us on these social media networks. And thank you guys for watching this video, and take care.